2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday the 4th of January and it's World Braille Day. And a big happy birthday to Rick Stein, Bernard Sumner, Julia Ormond and Michael Stein. Happy New Year, same old pandemic, as there were 157,758 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday and 42 additional deaths. With continuing high case numbers and rising numbers of hospitalisations, it was expected there might be new restrictions on the horizon, but a freshly barbered Boris Johnson was busy insisting that with the new variant appearing milder, there was no immediate need for further action.
I think the way forward for the country as a whole is to continue with the path that we're on. Of course, we keep all measures under review, but the mixture of things that we're doing at the moment is, I think, the right one.
And while urging people to continue with Plan B and to come forward for their booster, he did at least recognise that we have a difficult time ahead as several NHS trusts have already declared critical incidents.
The pressure on our NHS, on our hospitals, is going to be considerable in the course of the next couple of weeks and maybe more, because there's no question that Omicron continues to surge through the country.
With schools due to reopen this week after Christmas, Education Secretary Nadeem Sahawi was busy explaining why new measures, including on-site testing and face masks, are returning for school kids.
I want children in school with their friends in a classroom learning. This is one of the measures that I'm introducing, and I don't want it to be in classroom a day longer than necessary.
The other great news is that he's determined that exams will go ahead as normal this summer, even as teacher shortages due to self-isolation means that classes may have to be merged.
The exams will go ahead. The merging of classes is really a mitigation against staff shortages. The most important thing for me is to make sure children are in school with their teachers in the class learning. Yeah. And of course we'll do everything in our power to make sure that happens.
Professor Christina Pagel says the government's missed an opportunity by not introducing a circuit breaker lockdown before Christmas that would have bought schools more time to prepare.
We've only just had some measures in schools that were implemented, announced yesterday. There's masks, but there's also some more filtration units. We don't need 7,000. We need tens of thousands. We could have been planning that. Unfortunately, we've missed the opportunity that we had to prevent where we are.
This week marks 1 year since Donald Trump's MAGA squad stormed the Capitol building, and the January 6th committee continues to accumulate evidence, all of which is pointing towards direct involvement from Donald on a traumatic day for the United States. Representative Liz Cheney says there's clear testimony of what Donald was up to while the riot was going on.
The committee has first-hand testimony now that he was sitting in the dining room next to the Oval Office watching the attack on television. We have first-hand testimony that his daughter Ivanka went in at least twice to ask him to please stop this violence. At the same time the violent assault was happening, he's watching television. He's also calling at least one senator urging delay of the electoral vote.
That wasn't the only bad news for Donald, as New York Attorney General Letitia James issued subpoenas for Ivanka and Donald Jr. as her investigation into the Trump Organization's manipulation of its property values continues. The Donald is currently suing her to stop the civil investigation, which isn't really how the law works. It must have been an interesting Christmas round the Windsors as Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty of recruiting underage girls who were abused by Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew, who's engaged in a US court battle with one of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Giuffre, filed her 11-year-old secret Florida legal agreement with Jeffrey Epstein in court on Monday. It revealed that Virginia was paid $500,000 in return for waiving any future claim against Epstein and any associates. ITV News correspondent Dan Rivers explains what that means as Prince Andrew denies the charges and says that the deal puts him in the clear.
The key question in all this is, does that agreement, that settlement that she reached in that case in Florida apply to the case that is being brought against Prince Andrew in New York? Of course, this all will be decided before a judge, but potentially more damaging allegations if that case goes ahead. But Prince Andrew's lawyers will be hoping that this settlement will mean that it won't.
Still to come on the Smart 7, the new year starts badly for Man United and Peter Dinklage is missing his Game of Thrones crew. Right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform.
3,
The Christmas break was a tough one for the Premier League with COVID delays and cancellations, but it ended with Man City 10 points clear at the top of the table. Man United, under new interim manager Ralph Rangnick, faced Wolves on Monday night, needing to win as they sit in 7th place. It wasn't to be, though, with a late winner for Wolves' João Moutinho, and Ralph says it was pretty much what the Wolverhampton side deserved.
Wolves so far was the best team we played, again collectively and individually, and therefore we had more problems today than in other games.
We haven't seen a lot of Peter Dinklage recently. Well, he's been taking a well-deserved break after a 10-year run as Tyrion Lannister, a performance that won him 4 Emmys. He told Graham Norton that he does miss the old crew in his life on Game of Thrones.
I lived in Ireland, basically, and it wasn't just the show, it was the life. I had children there. My daughter had an Irish accent, affected Irish accent. Totally affected. But truly, my feet were just in Belfast. The community up there is so beautiful, and I made so many good friends. So it was more for me just the life rather than the show itself. So that's really the hardest thing to walk away from.
Christmas is a time for new pets. Maybe you got a new puppy, maybe a parrot, or maybe a bat. Well, maybe not, although it is fun to do the bat voice. Anyway, Batman got a new cat, however. Yep, the trailer for Robert Pattinson's The Batman just dropped, and we get to see a lot more of his partner in crime fighting, Zoe Kravitz as a newly rebooted Catwoman. It hits cinemas in March. Sausages.
The Riddler is asking for you.
The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
You came. I've been trying to reach you.
The bat and the cat. It's got a nice ring.
A new friend of yours?
I'm not so sure.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind. But when it's denied, it's through violence you may find
Justice. The answer's justice.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.